That's good. I'm the last one, you better clap. Last one before drinks. Good evening, everyone. My name is Doug Spate. I am founder and CEO of a company called Cathedral Leasing. And we are revolutionizing equipment leasing in the entire fintech industry. So we're a fintech company based out of American Underground in Durham. And we're going to talk a little bit about what we do. First, I want to provide a little bit of background. This is one of our clients. This is a middle market manufacturing company. They manufacture electronic gear. I can't disclose who it is, but they manufacture electronic equipment in-house. They're actually growing because they are reshoring work from Asia in the last several years, and they're actually growing their footprint in the United States. So this plant here needs more equipment in order to meet a greater demand. They're expanding, so they also need additional office furniture. They also need additional delivery trucks and all of the elements that equipment that will help them grow. And that's what we're focused in on. Companies that are growing and need more equipment across industries in order to grow. And here's what they're doing. They're looking at equipment leasing as a way to make all of those purchases affordable and accessible. And here are the three major reasons why they're looking at equipment leasing. Number one, it's to protect their balance sheet. They're still a middle market company. They're looking at being acquired in a couple of years. So they need to keep their balance sheet clean. Number two, and probably most importantly, they need to manage their cash. You know, cash is king, so they need to ensure that they're using the cash on hand very wisely. And third, because they're in an electronics industry that's constantly changing, with manufacturing techniques that are constantly changing and evolving, they need to make sure that they have the best equipment available at any given time, not buy a piece of equipment that's going to be obsolete within a matter of 2 or 3 years. So here's how we help them do that. Number one, first, let's talk about the equipment leasing process. The current process is completely broken. Equipment leasing isn't a very sexy industry, hasn't changed in decades. And that's good for us. Number one, it's time consuming. If you've ever submitted a lease application to a bank or a leasing firm, you know that it's extraordinarily time consuming. It can take up to 3 weeks in order for you to get an approval or denial. It's extraordinarily complex. It requires multiple years of tax returns, of audited financials, even personal guarantees and the like. And it leaves you uninformed during the process. You don't know where you are in the process until the banker calls you and tells you you've been denied or you've been accepted. And worse yet, it's an unrepeatable cycle. You have to go through that same thing with every single bank if you want to compare and get comparing offers. And that's why companies don't do it, because it's so cumbersome that they usually go with the first lease deal that's offered through the captive lease program or the bank that they currently have a relationship with. And as a result of it, they overpay, some up to 20%. The industry estimates are anywhere between 16 to 20% overpayment. And before you fall asleep and ask, WTF, what the heck, I don't care about equipment leasing, it's a really big problem. 80% of all companies lease some form of equipment, whether it's office equipment, computer and IT, to delivery equipment, transportation, fleets of planes, trains, automobiles. 80% of all companies, that's 136,000 companies in the US alone. It's a $900 billion problem annually, right? So it's a really big space for us to play in. And this is what happens when you have formatting errors. So I'm going to talk you through what our platform does in order to simplify this process. We're able to take one application from a company. We're able to filter that application, score it. Because we know the finance industry backwards and forwards, we've developed a new scoring methodology that allows us to get to creditworthiness quicker than a bank can. And once we have that score, we then are able to add on data, right? So we're bringing on a variety of different metrics, firmographic metrics like how a company is doing on social media. How are you growing in terms of hiring? What are your penetration rates in the industry? What does the industry competition look like? We're able to layer on that information into your package. Once we have that, we're able to match that package to the underwriting criteria for multiple banks and leasing firms. As a result of that, you can get up to 12, 15 different offers with one application. Completely streamlined, completely efficient, completely effective. And that's what happens when you have formatting areas. So here's what our solution does compared to the traditional application process. We're able to streamline that complexity and take all of those elements out. We gather the package in a simple, intuitive way. We're also able to eliminate a lot of the time to make it more quick and efficient and provide a response from multiple banks and leasing firms within 3 days. We have an informed, transparent process, so you can look on our platform and determine where you are at any given time during the approval process. And last but not least, one application, you get multiple offers. It's the lending tree model. We're a lending tree for equipment leasing. So how do we make money? Well, there are 3 different ways. The initial route for our revenue streams is by subscription. So we work with a variety of different equipment distributors. These are salespeople at the equipment manufacturer. And we charge them a SaaS subscription fee. We also are able to capture a success fee. This is a commission on closed deals by every bank. And that's a standard brokerage fee of 3% of the total transaction price, with the average transaction price being right below $250,000. And we're the team to do it, too. So I have a technology development background with universities, with federal laboratories, Department of Energy, NASA, and a number of different organizations. This is my 4th startup. Camelia Dianati was Chief Technology Officer at Lending Tree for 14 years. Jonathan Patrick, our co-founder, is also he's a commercial banker who has experience with small business and commercial lending and leasing. And in addition to that, he's also SBA's Lender of the Year for the past 3 years running. We also have his brother, Lee Patrick, is our Chief of Sales. He's had a business development background for over 20 years. And we also brought on Courtney Watson out of Tennessee. She's former AOL direct marketing team. So head of our direct and digital marketing team. Now, here's where we're concentrating. I told you that we have a $900 billion industry that we're targeting. We're actually starting with a $350 billion swath of that. And that comes across these 3 industries: agriculture, transportation, and construction. Big ticket equipment, heavy ticket equipment. And we're working through the distributors of that equipment because those salespeople lose up to 1/3 of their deals because they can't put financing in place quickly enough. And they're commission-based, so they have to move on to the next deal and forget those that they couldn't get financed. We actually help them close that 1/3 of their deals that they couldn't close otherwise. So where are we now? One, we're raising capital. We're raising a seed round of about $750,000 that'll take us to 5,000 users. Because of that, we're focusing in on launching our beta product in the 3rd quarter of this year. We're also focusing in on our direct and digital marketing strategies and bringing on assistance there. So our current status is this: the hardest thing in this business is to get banks to sign off on your scoring methodology. They want to know that you're able to score companies effectively, as effectively as they are, or better. We've had 5 banks around the country test our scoring methodology on over 200 loans, for $40 million in value. And thus far, they've told us that our scoring methodology is as good or better than their current methodology. Lease partners, we brought on 40 different banks from across the country. We have a target of 100 by the 4th quarter of this year. We also have already assembled nearly $11 million worth of enterprise value, of equipment value in our portfolio. So $11 million has gone through our portfolio, or through our platform, by the companies that see the value in what we do. In addition to that, we have technology partnerships with IBM and their global partnership program. And we also just started a pilot project with Access Ventures, Village Capital, and PayPal as well. So with that, I'll summarize. Essentially, we are the lending tree for equipment leasing. We make the process easy, affordable, and accessible for the equipment that you want. We make that complex process very streamlined and very efficient. Thank you.
Want more secrets from inside the minds of entrepreneurs and innovators around the world? Subscribe to our YouTube channel here and click the link below. We'll send you our best interviews and strategies for growing your business.